Listen, alcohol is just out in 2024. There is a rising trend of going alcohol-free or being sober curious, and alcohol, the truth is, it's just bad for you and can famously impair your sex life. So if you're looking for another way to unwind, relax, or just have fun, I cannot recommend Via's THC gummies enough. Via has gummies for every occasion. Whether it's to improve your sleep, I love their sleep gummies. I take them everywhere. Your mood or your focus. They even have an aphrodisiac gummy called High Love to boost my arousal levels. High Love has a unique blend of cannabinoids and aphrodisiac exotic herbs that are known for their libido enhancing effects. So I've been using Via for a while now, and I absolutely love them. They're a super trusted company. They use premium hemp, natural ingredients, and they're known for their premium indoor THCA flower. All their products are made here in the US. They got quick and discreet shipping to all 50 states, so you can all enjoy them, not to worry. And also super affordable. So head over to viahemp.com and use code Emily at checkout to save 15% off your order. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Use code Emily at checkout for 15% off your order and let me know what you think. Urinary tract infections are extremely common. Around 1 in 2 women and 1 in 20 men will get a UTI in their lifetime. Plus, once you've had one UT challenge, you're way more susceptible to another in the future. That's why you just need Just Thrive's UT123. This product can actually prevent UTIs while maintaining your urinary tract health. UT123 targets both immediate and long-term relief. We've all heard to drink cranberry juice for your urinary tract, but did you know that for the full effects, you need the whole cranberry? Not just juice, but the skin, flesh, and even the seeds. Well, UT123 uses superior ingredients that utilizes the whole fruit. This supplement truly is the full package. So if you're someone who struggles with the constant urge to urinate, a burning feeling when you pee, pelvic pain, or just want to be proactive in your urinary health, Just Thrive is for you. Just Thrive is so confident you'll love their product that there is a 100% money-back guarantee on every purchase made through justthrivehealth.com. And for a limited time, you can save 20% off site-wide at justthrivehealth.com with promo code SEXWithEmily. That's justthrivehealth.com and use code SEXWithEmily for 20% off your order. You're going to love it.
Have you guys heard my news? I have a new sex gig. I'm not a porn star. It's better. I just launched my new premium skincare brand called Emily and Tony. These products are tried and true to help spice up your sex life, which is what I'm all about. I'm talking about massage oil candles that are 1 part candle, 1 part body oil, and check out these flavors. They come in delicious scents like creme de vanilla, cocoa, and fougere. And they're hydrating, and they leave your skin feeling super luxurious. We even have a product for the guys called Down Under Comfort that helps keep their balls smelling fresh and clean and dry all day, which is exactly what you want, right? So guys, if you take care of your balls, your partner will take care of you. So help us keep this podcast free. Use code Emily to get 20% off your first purchase at emilyandtony.com. Trust me, you'll love them, and you're welcome.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com where you can check out all my podcasts, sign up my mailing list. And you know what? You really have to sign up my mailing list ASAP because you're going to be getting lots of good stuff. So check it out. Check out all my shows. And also, this show is brought to you by Good Vibrations. Go to Good Vibes, use coupon code GV20, and you get some amazing vibrating presents, which I think every person needs. Today's show is very exciting. I have the infamous Brad P. here.
Hello.
Hello, Brad P. Brad P. was chosen the #1 pickup artist, and that's a difficult decision to make, right? There's a lot of you guys out there.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. But what does that mean? Don't think of pickup artist. A lot of people don't even know what that means. So explain to me what it is that you do, Brad P. Because let me just wait, one more thing.
We are going to get into some stuff today because let me tell you something. I've been doing the show for a long time. I've got lots of guys listening to the show, and you email me every single day and you say, how do I meet women? I met this girl. She put me in the friend zone. I don't know what to do once I got her. I've been with my wife for 20 years. We don't know. She doesn't want to have sex anymore. I'm divorced and I don't know how to meet anyone. We're going to cover every single question that you have, Dave. Everything that you're thinking about sex and dating and relationships, we're going to touch on. So you better pay attention to this entire podcast. That's all I got to say. So, Brad, tell me about you. Everyone's like, Brad P., you got to talk to Brad P., you got to talk to Brad P. And so he is amazing. I can tell that already. But I need to know, what's your history?
Well, I'm actually just a normal guy with a not-so-normal skill. I actually grew up with a lot of issues and problems when I was younger that made it hard for me to learn how to socialize like a normal person would learn. I was really a big nerd growing up, and I used to get bullied, and I used to have people make fun of me, and I became very socially withdrawn as a result of that. And around the time when everybody else was getting their first kiss, and they were getting their prom dates, and they were getting dates and their first hookups, I was getting none of that, unfortunately.
What age were you then?
All throughout high school,
okay.
I didn't get one date.
You were that guy.
Yes. But, I think I'm a pretty creative thinker, and I tried to think of an idea to get myself some dates. So this is the first thing I tried.
Okay.
I tried to become like an overachiever. Mm-hmm. I joined the basketball team. I got good grades. I played in a rock band, and guess what? Still no dates.
Rock band and no dates?
No dates.
You think with the rock band?
You would think so.
Okay.
But I didn't have social skills. I was afraid to talk to girls.
That's the thing.
If you can't talk to girls,
they're not gonna throw themselves at you.
You got it. They're not gonna start. They're not gonna make the first move. Girls just don't do that much.
I never have.
Exactly. Yep. So then I went to college and I tried something else. I said, I'm going to go to a college that's 75% women. And that actually worked a little better.
Is that why you picked the college?
Yes.
Most people are like, curriculum, I want to be a lawyer. You're like, lots of chicks.
Yes. I figured I couldn't lose there. And I actually did get like my first girlfriend, and I hooked up with a couple of girls. I mean, a lot of people at my college hooked up with like 40, 50 girls throughout their 4 years. And I, I had like 3 or 4.
Okay.
But it was better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Yeah. So I was pretty happy with that. Then I actually moved to New York City, and I was in a huge drought. I was starving for vagina.
Okay.
It was over for me because it's not 75% women anymore.
Right.
So I went a very long time without much female contact. I had a few girlfriends here and there, but for the most part, what happened is I was getting put in the friend zone every time.
The friend zone. That is so
Yes.
infamous. I get lots of emails from people who are like, why am I in the friend zone? Why do I keep getting in the friend zone? And I think about it, I'm like, I've put a lot of guys in the friend zone, and I really love them. I want them to be my friends, but I don't want to bone them.
Right. And that was what I was getting.
Okay, friend zone.
Right. So I remember how girls used to say it because they would all say it the same.
How?
They would say,
I'm going to be so guilty.
They would say, you are a very nice guy. You're very sweet. I'm not interested in you in that way, but we can be friends.
Okay.
And I would say, I don't really get it. And they would say, you're just so nice. And in my brain, I would say, well, if I'm so nice, then have sex with me, date me, be my girlfriend, something. But the reality is that women don't really feel sexual attraction to guys who are nice guys.
True.
And to translate that into woman language, from woman language to man language, you're a nice guy means I'm not sexually attracted to you because you are not dominant and you don't seem like a powerful person.
Okay.
It's like a girl's
women
way
are
of
attracted
saying,
to power. Like that's the greatest aphrodisiac for women is a powerful man.
Right. Personal power and sexual dominance.
Right.
So it was a girl's way of saying to me, I feel I'm more powerful than you. So I don't want to hitch my wagon to you because then I'm going to be the one pulling it. Mm-hmm. You're not cooler than me. You're not dominant over me. You're not smarter than me. You're not farther along in life than me. So if I date you, I'm actually downgrading my whole existence.
But what guy in their 20s is?
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
But actually...
But they are. I guess I do the guys in my 20s that I perceive to be...
More dominant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I teach guys in their 20s how to be more
dominant. I know
dominant.
you do. You teach how many guys have you taught?
Oh, thousands.
Thousands of men have learned.
Of all ages.
Right.
From 18 to 61. 64. I had a student who was 64 one time.
teaching them how to talk to women, which
Yep.
is some guys listening are like, whatever, I don't have this problem, but we're going to get into some of the sex stuff too coming up.
That's right.
But there are a lot of guys who are just like, I can't talk to women, I don't get it. So then
Yeah.
what happened?
So I was in this drought.
You're a nice girl, you had a lot of friends because there were girls.
Yeah, well, I had a
Right?
few, you know. I was trying different things to meet women, and I finally failed at everything. And I have a psychology interest. I studied psychology in college. So I said, I'm going to just read up on the psychology of this. And there was a book I found, and it was called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I saw the title. Actually, my brother gave it to me.
Okay.
And I was like, well, that's me. That's exactly what they've been saying. They've been saying, you're too
Right.
nice, you're too nice. And I don't ever want to hear that again. So I've read this book.
Okay.
And one of the cool things that they said was hey, if you are trying to be nice to girls and get sex and relationships that way and it's not working, stop it. Do something else. If you try something over and over and it doesn't work, do something different.
Right.
Yeah. And I hadn't thought of that, believe
Right.
it or
It's
not.
like definition of insanity. If you do
Right.
the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results.
Exactly. So the
Because
other
you're
thing...
like, I'm just being myself. I'm a nice guy. These girls are going to like me. And
Right.
it wasn't working.
Wasn't working.
Okay.
The other thing that I saw in that book was the guy says, hey, if you want to meet girls, you can just go out and hit on girls every day. Just walk down the street and flirt with every girl you see. And that hadn't occurred to me either.
Right.
I thought that was like not allowed. But in the book it says it's not illegal. It's not morally wrong. Maybe not everybody does it, but it's perfectly okay to just hit on every girl you see.
Because it's like exercising those muscles. Like it's like exercising the muscles of talk. Because I tell my listeners that all the time. I'm like, smile at the girl at the coffee shop. Like take a different route home from work and talk to every woman that you see. Like just say something. Like it doesn't have to be that you want to like sleep with them. It could be like a grandmother. But to start practice because men have so much fear. They've been shut down. They've been rejected.
Right.
And they don't know how to talk. So you're saying you went out there and you just...
Yeah, I mean, that was all I needed to hear. Once they gave me the green light to do that, I spent about 8 months hitting on like between 10 and 20 women per day.
Per day?
Every day.
Did you have a job?
I was only working like 3 hours a day.
Oh,
at
perfect.
that
So the
time.
rest of the day you were just like, hey.
Yeah.
Were they all girls that you thought were cute, or were some just like, I gotta like fill my quota of talking to girls?
You know, at the time, I have to say my standards weren't terribly high. So I would talk to like any girl like between like, 20 and like 40, as long as they weren't morbidly obese, I would talk to them.
Okay, I won't say anything about that.
It was just
Some
practice.
guys are morbidly obese. You were not. You had to weed some women
A
out.
few, yeah. But I did talk to a lot of extremely attractive girls along the way. Like out of 20 girls that day, there would be like 10 or 12 that were cute, and there would be like 1 or 2 that were crazy hot.
Wow, okay.
So, and there'd be a few, average girls in there,
Right.
but that's fine. I found that they didn't respond that much differently, so they were good practice.
And this is like during the day, like at Starbucks. You just go up to them and start talking.
I would do it at night in bars, and I would do it during the day as well.
Okay.
I was in New York, and I would do it right on the subway, like in the subway
And how
train car.
how was this talking to them different than how you talked to them when you were in high school and college?
Well, in high school and college, I didn't talk.
Okay, got it. You were mute.
I was just shy, and I would like think about them a lot and try to come up with a plan and then not do anything, But what I would do is I would try different methods. Here's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Talking to women is a skill like any other skill. If you practice a lot, you will get good. It's just like playing a musical instrument. It's just like learning martial arts. It's just like learning to knit a sweater. There's a step-by-step process to it, and once you discover how that works, you will be good at it.
Okay.
So I said to myself, well, I've learned a lot of skills in the past. When I was in high school, I was on the basketball team, and they taught me how to dribble.
Right.
And I played in a rock band, so I learned the guitar.
Right.
So I guess I can learn to talk to girls.
Right.
And that's a big part of what the whole pickup artist thing is about. Pickup artists are a group of guys who believe that it's possible to just form this skill, and you practice and you get good. And it's kind of that simple in the beginning. So here's what I did. I tried out all these like goofy ideas. First thing I did was I just tried what people had always said. They said, smile at her and tell her she's pretty and ask her to go on a date. So for the first like month, that's what I did. I would smile at girls and I'd say, I think you're really pretty and do you want to go on a date with me? And that did not work at all.
No, girls don't want to hear that.
No,
that doesn't work. It's like, you think I'm pretty, like do something
Yeah.
totally different and say something, comment on something else. But like, you
Right.
think I'm pretty, you don't even know. And girls are so,
Yeah.
who are pretty girls are like, I know you think I'm pretty.
Yeah.
You just went, right.
You got it.
Right, okay. I'm like, I get that.
In my naive world, that
No,
was
but
the
that's
first
how you
thing to
learn.
try.
This is good. There's a lot of
Yeah.
guys right now who are doing that. Now they're
Sure.
going to stop doing that.
Right.
Okay.
So I cleverly deduced that doesn't work after about 100 tries. And I tried something else. I tried, I would say, hey, where are you going? I would be on the train. I'd say, what are you up to today? Where are you going? And that did not work either.
That didn't work either?
No, not at all. That was a catastrophe.
Oh my God.
Both of these initial tries were a catastrophe. And like I said, I know a lot about psychology, so I tried to read into the brains of these girls and see why it didn't work.
Right.
And I would watch their face, and they would look at me, and they would kind of like look into the air like I heard this a million times before. And they would lose interest, and they would kind of turn their back. So after 200 rejections, I said...
Were you keeping notes of how many women you talked to?
No, I wasn't keeping notes.
Okay.
I like to have fun with it. You know, I just go out and try to have fun with it. And I figured I would get rejected a lot, and I was cool with that.
Right.
Yeah. So I said, let me try this. Let me try to give them something they've never heard before. And that was the turning point where it started to work. So I would try to come up with something that the girls never heard before, and that would get her intrigued, and then I would be in a conversation where I was talking for a few minutes.
Okay.
So, and these things that women have never heard before, I actually wrote them all down, and I put them all in a book.
Okay.
And the book is called Instant Attraction, and we're going to give a free copy to all your listeners, which
oh my God.
we'll talk about
that later.
Are you
serious? People are going to flip.
Yes.
This is what worked for you, and you're giving it for free?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, everyone, keep listening.
Okay, keep listening. We'll tell you how to get that later. So I found all these things, and actually, I can give you some examples. Right
Okay,
now.
yeah, I'm like dying. I'm salivating for the examples. Okay.
Okay, you want to do a few of them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me give you an easy one and like a medium one.
Okay.
Okay, nothing too hard yet. Now, you're going to hear some of this stuff, and you might say, that would never work. But I'm telling you, I've gotten laid a zillion times off this stuff, and all my students who are beginners at this stuff, it works for them too.
It's crazy.
So I know this stuff's off the wall, and I know you're going to say, I could never say that, but just try to keep an open mind because this stuff is actually what will get you laid.
Okay.
Okay, here's an easy one.
All right.
I might go up to a group of 2-3 girls, and I might say, hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to point out to you that all of us right here look stunning. Mostly me, but you guys look okay too.
Right.
So the whole deal with that is the girls kind of think you're complimenting them in the beginning, but it turns out you're just being like kind of a cocky jerk.
Right, you're showing confidence, and like I know that. Right.
Yeah. So it's
and then what happens? The girls are like,
they all
it's funny, right? Because most guys are going, "Hi, you're pretty. Do you want a date? And I want your phone number."
Right.
So you're something different.
Right, okay. Something different, and I'm pretty much, putting myself on a little higher pedestal than I'm putting them on. One thing women hate is when you put them on a pedestal immediately when you first meet them. That's a huge turnoff.
So let's just reiterate what that means. That means like if a guy comes up to me, he's like, "You have the most beautiful eyes," or "Emily, or you're stunning," or I've been told this in my life by guys, and I just ignore. Those are never the guys that I go out with.
Yeah, that whole thing, they call it going direct.
Right.
It's something that men would like to believe in, but in reality, it doesn't work at all.
Right.
And people will not let
go
of the
dream. We are debunking all the myths here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you tell a girl she's pretty, she's only going to like you if you are extremely attractive and you have amazing game already. If you're already great and she already wants to have sex with you, you're pretty will work. She'll be like, great, thanks, you're hot. Let's go do it right now. But for most guys who are, average or even below average, because I was a below average guy doing this stuff. I'm not terribly physically attractive. When I was starting to learn, I had really poor body language. I didn't make eye contact well. I didn't have a cool style or clothing. I was just kind of tall and skinny and gawky, and my looks were not helping me. So I had to kind of overcome that.
We'll get into that later, too, about like how you dress and all that stuff.
Right,
how you change all that. Okay.
Yeah, you can change all that stuff. So here's another opener. This is a little harder, but this one actually works the best. I'm going to give you guys the best opener now. This one is called the Horse Girl opener.
Horse Girl?
Horse Girl.
Okay.
Here's how it goes. I would say to a girl, hey, do you like horses?
Yeah.
Okay, when I was in 6th grade, there was this girl, and she loved horses more than anything. And she used to run around the playground, and she would make horse noises, and she would dress up like a horse every Halloween, and she would draw horses on her notebook. So we used to call her the Weird Horse Girl. And you look just like her. And the girl would say, no, I'm not the horse girl, whatever. Yes, I'm and say, all right. I don't know if it's you or not, but just in case, I want to tell you I'm sorry. Because I know I used to make fun of you. And in school, I was like the bully and the cool kid.
Right.
But I'm trying to be nicer now. So I am so sorry. Can you ever forgive me for when I made fun of you?
Right. And she's like, I'm not the horse girl.
Right.
But then she's already interested in.
Right. She's like playing along. It's basically a role play.
Right.
Where I play the part of the bully and the cool kid, which is so not true, by the way.
Right. Like, and then you throw in there subliminally, like, I was the cool kid. Which you really weren't.
Which I wasn't, right? And she's the nerdy girl. So the reason this works is because you'll say this to a really hot girl, and you're a nerdy guy, and it kind of turns the tables a little on the whole fact that she thinks she's so much cooler than you. When I was learning, all the girls I was talking to were way cooler than me. So I had to come up with something that would, for a minute, just confuse them and say, wait a minute, is this guy actually cooler than me?
Right.
Yeah, and it would just throw her off a little bit.
It's the power dynamic.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, being nice. I'm saying, oh, I'm sorry I made fun of you. So I'm not being harsh or mean. I'm being attainable and I'm being nice, but I'm also kind of teasing a little bit. So there's a lot of psychology packed into these lines. And that's why when people use them, I say, just read them out of the book and use them. You're not going to grasp all the subtle elements of persuasion and psychology on the first day.
Right.
But anybody who's listening could go out and try that. You know, the first 10 times you'll just be getting the hang of it.
Right. Like, don't worry if you don't sound like comfortable or whatever, but it'll come to you.
Yeah, and then after you practice it for a while, you'll actually get really good at it, and you'll be amazed that girls who would never normally talk to you will get intrigued by you.
Right.
You know?
Okay, I love it. What, any more?
Oh, man. I got a million of them.
Okay.
You know what?
But are they really
I'll let people download it.
So this will really come... So you want to give everyone this instant attraction, and it has some of those lines in there and stuff that have worked for you.
They're all in there.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
We've tested all of them. I've tested them myself. My coaches who work for me have tested them, and students have used them. Okay. So we know that they all work for beginners.
Right. And now here's the thing. For like pickup artists, people think like, oh, you're just trying to get laid. But what about a guy who's just like, this seems to be lately, like a lot of guys are just got out of a relationship, or women, out of a relationship, and they haven't dated in a while, and they're kind of have the cold feet. It's like a muscle it's like atrophied, like you haven't exercised that muscle. And so even if they're not like, I just want to, it's a good method that they could just use to just start talking to women again. Like practice every day, like talk to 20 women a day. You will see 20 women today that you can talk to.
Yeah. I mean, I think for most people, they're not going to go that extreme with it like I did. But even if you go out once or twice a week and you can go out with your friends and you just sneak off for a little while and talk to like 5 women, you will actually learn a lot just by doing that.
Right.
There's so many things that I realized when I was learning that I never would have believed before.
Right. Like what?
For example, most women that you see out and about, they're totally cool with being hit on.
Right.
They're not going to yell or scream or call the cops on you.
Right.
They're used to it. I mean, Emily.
Yes.
You are an attractive woman. Do you get hit on a lot?
Yes.
Are you used to it?
Yes.
Does it freak you out?
No.
It's
I like
just
it.
part
Feels
of life.
Good.
Yeah.
It's part of life. I was like buying something the other day at the grocery store, and this guy's like, "Hey, gluten-free chick." He followed me out because I was buying like gluten-free bread. So what's with the gluten-free? And I just was not interested in, but my little ego feels good that I got hit on.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah.
So
get hit on. Most women would agree
cool
with what you're saying.
Right.
They're cool with it. They're not going to call the cops. You're not a jerk for hitting on girls. It's a normal part of life that women are used to.
Right.
You're not going to get every girl, but you're not really going to get, nothing bad will ever happen to you as a result of hitting on girls.
Except for rejection, which do you teach how to overcome that?
Yes, I do.
Some guys are like, they're paralyzed by it. Like they don't want.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the deal with rejection. Rejection is completely harmless. Nothing bad will ever happen to you.
You're not going to die.
You're not going to die. And it's part of the game. You have to be realistic. You're not going to get every girl. And if you're trying to get every girl, that's just delusional and you're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
So you have to just get your first 25 rejections. They'll all hurt really bad on an emotional level.
Right.
And then after that, you sort of like move beyond it and you just get more of a thick skin and you just stop caring.
Because I think there's so many guys listening who are like paralyzed. Like they just don't even want to go out. They don't want to ask. They don't want to, do it.
Yeah.
So you just got to start.
Once you get rejected a few times, you'll feel it less and less, and eventually it goes away. I could go get rejected 10 times in a row right now, and I wouldn't feel bad at all.
At all. It wouldn't even faze you.
The beautiful thing about this is that once you stop feeling that pain, you stop worrying about it, and you feel so much freedom in your life. Not only with women, but in general, just the freedom to do what you want when you want, to talk to people anytime, anywhere, to have that level of social skills. Most average people have a lot of social anxiety with all kinds of situations, talking to strangers. And so I teach people how to overcome social anxiety to feel more free. And that attitude is magnetic.
So many people. I have girlfriends who have social anxiety. Like, that's why they drink so much. That's why a lot of people drink a lot, is because they can't talk to people of the opposite sex. So it's amazing that you have something that you can teach people to overcome social anxiety, because I think that's a lot of what it is. A lot of men direct towards women, but women have the same social anxiety around men and just going to a party. Like, I have girlfriends who are like, I don't want to go to a party because I can't talk to anyone, you know?
Yeah. See, the nice thing for women is that even if they won't talk to people, they'll probably still get laid anyway. Yeah. Because men will hit on them.
I know. That's what everyone says. Like, everyone's like, you can get laid any day you want. I wish I was a woman. You can get laid any day you want. I'm like, but, you know, what if I can't find the guy that I want to
That's
lay?
true.
So that's true. I can.
It would be good for women to lose that anxiety, too. I have a series of exercises that I teach to people where they do these exercises and they get that ultimate freedom to do whatever they want socially.
Really? What are they? Can you give a little teaser?
It's on my website. It's called How to Beat Approach Anxiety.
How to
beat approach anxiety.
Oh, beat it. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we give you a little seminar about approach anxiety, how it works, how to beat it, and then there's these exercises. Like, for example, you go up and you say hi to 3 or 4 people, and then you go up and you tell somebody a joke who you don't even know. Mm-hmm. You can actually do this. You can walk up to people and say, hey, want to hear a joke?
Right.
And they'll say, okay. And then you just tell them a joke.
Right.
It works every time. Nothing bad happens. Nobody's going to punch you in the face because you told them a joke. But in the mind of a person who's socially anxious, we think it's going to be a catastrophe.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's harder ones too.
Of course.
But yeah,
so you just set them out there. So when people can come, okay, so your website is bradp.com.
Right.
And so people can check out your stuff there. Are you, do you teach, like, people can come see you and take the courses, or is it mostly you?
Yeah, I teach all over the world. I've taught in Australia, Europe, America. I'm teaching in New York City this Saturday. And I teach in LA a lot. Okay. Yeah, I teach all the time. I also have guys who are good at this, who work for me, who are stationed in some of these cities. Okay. So anybody who wants to study can shoot me.
And what's the profile of the? Is there a typical Brad P student?
Well, we get a lot of IT guys.
IT guys.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, because they sit in front of a computer all day and they don't get to socialize that much.
Right.
And
all ages, right?
Yeah, all ages. Yep. We get all kinds of guys. We get guys who are immigrants sometimes, guys from India, Asian guys. But we also get regular white guys.
Right, white guys who just can't talk to women.
Yep.
So, okay.
I've had celebrities, movie directors, people who actually have a lot of status will come to me as well, because, like I said in the beginning, if you can't talk to a girl, you can't get a girl, no matter how high your status is.
You've got to talk. So, okay, so that's part of the process. So what about sex? What do you teach men about sex?
Well, I try to teach men that sex and the lead up to sex starts from the first word you say to a girl. And there's a way to approach women so that they do see you as dominant and they don't see you as this friend zone guy. So if a woman sees you as dominant from the beginning, the sex is going to be better a few hours later, or whenever you actually end up doing it, a few days later in the normal world.
Right. Exactly. Not in your world, but...
Not in my world, yeah. So if you're projecting that dominance from the beginning, a woman will be turned on a mental level, even very early on.
Yeah, our brain is the largest sex organ.
That's right.
Women need to be turned on by our brains.
Yes. If you turn a woman on the mental level, that is the beginning of everything. For example, a lot of women, when you first try to talk to them, they're going to try to shoot you down a little bit or test you. We call it testing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's better than shooting down.
Yeah. So if a woman can't really put one over on you and she can't win, and you're dominating all those tests, she's going to be kind of turned on by that on a mental level. She might not even realize it in the beginning. But sexual attraction starts very early in a woman's subconscious before she even realizes that she's turned on.
Whereas guys, like in a second, you're like, I'd bang her, I wouldn't bang her, I would bang her. But women, we're kind of like slow builds. We're like, oh, I didn't think he was maybe not, but now I'm getting turned on by like what he's saying, what he's doing. Like I'm like a slow build with guys too. Like there's many guys I'm like, I'd never sleep with them, and then I'm like banging them a week later.
Yeah, it happens. And I think that's a very normal thing. When a woman first meets you, in her head, she's not going to have sex with you. And then an hour later, she's like, I'm not going to have sex with this guy. And 2 hours later, she's like, I'm not going to have sex with this guy. And then in the third hour, I want to have sex with this guy. And a lot of that psychological shift is actually subconscious.
Right.
So what I teach men is how to massage the subconscious so that the woman's decision process changes. Because the decision to have sex with a guy is an emotional decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a logical decision. And there's a certain amount of emotional connection that you can build or emotional arousal that you can build that will make a woman want to have sex with you.
How do you do that?
Well, you got to dominate them. Verbally, mentally, physically, socially. There's many kinds of dominance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beginning of it. And then there's the actual foreplay part.
Do you teach guys actual technique?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like what? Like, tell me. I want to see if your technique matches my technique.
Okay, cool.
Sex with Emily.
Sex with Emily, that's right. So let's talk sex. What I teach guys is to, touch women a lot in the beginning and then kind of always like pull back a little so that she starts wanting more.
Tease.
Yeah, tease. You got to let her want more, and then you touch her again. She's wanting more. And then when you actually start taking her clothes off, you want to do it a little bit slower than she wants you to. So that allows the desire to build up in her.
So true. Like, can I just tell you, like, side note, men, not even a side note. This relates. I feel like maybe at the beginning guys do that, but I feel that men tend to just like rip your clothes off, and they don't. Maybe I don't even know if guys do it slowly the first time because they're so excited. Like, and I think it's because a lot of guys are so used to rejection. They're like, "Fuck, she might change her mind. She might change her mind. I gotta get my clothes off quickly. I'm gonna get her clothes off really quickly." And women like to be seduced. Like, I want a guy to undress me slowly. Like, it's like a dream. I've been talking about this for years, and I'm like, "Will some guys please just undress me slowly?" Or like, I was dating this guy for a while, like a few years ago, and like maybe the first time he undressed me, but then it got to the point where we'd like brush our, we were already in that stage where like brush our teeth, get in bed. He's like, "Why are your clothes still on?" I'm like, "Why aren't you taking my clothes off, dick?" But whatever. So you teach men to actually slowly undress women, which is guys do this. Why no one listens?
I say slow cook them.
Slow cook them.
Slow cook a woman.
So you slowly undress, but then you stop and you unbutton one button, and then you stop.
You go a little out of order. Like, I think most guys want to like make out and then grab a boob and then take her pants off, then finger her, then have sex with her.
Yes.
Which is very linear.
It's so linear.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know you're gonna touch my boob. Okay, now you're gonna try to go down my pants. Oh, really? You're trying to go down my pants? This is a big shock there. Like, it's so annoying.
Yeah. Women like it to be a little more like, oh my God, what's he gonna do next?
Exactly.
What's gonna happen?
Exactly. You can teach guys this?
Yeah.
I have a million guys to send to you.
Yeah. I teach
all my
all
exes.
guys here.
Okay, so tell me. So you teach them to slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, for example, so she's wearing jeans and a T-shirt. You're, like, sitting on the couch. You've already gotten to that point. Like, what would you...
Well, let's say I might kiss a girl on the neck for a little while before I ever kiss her on the lips. Especially if it's a girl who I'm seducing and I haven't actually, we've never done it before.
You kiss her on the neck.
Yeah, because kissing on the lips is actually extremely intimate for someone you just met.
Right.
But kissing on the neck is like a girl doesn't really have to do anything. All she has to do is kind of sit there passively.
Right, and we like the neck kissing.
Yes.
Like, do you find women who don't like to be kissed on the neck?
Not very much. No. They all like that.
I love it.
Yeah.
It never happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get anything I want.
Oh, man.
I know, it's a problem.
I'm just going to drop you in the pickup mansion Shark
You
Tank
should.
style.
I'm telling you. Do it. I want to meet these guys. Perfect.
So it'll allow a woman to adjust to the fact that, hey, this is becoming like a physical interaction. This is a sexual escalation. And she's sitting there not doing anything and taking the passive role, which is actually something women like. It's the man's responsibility to move things forward, to take action, and it's a woman's responsibility to kind of just be along for the ride. You can't expect a woman to make the first move in anything.
No, don't assume she's going to... Like, I know so many guys who are like, I didn't know she liked me. She told me years later I should have made a move, and they didn't. And I always say to guys, when in doubt, make a move.
Right. Because if you make a move and it fails, that's so easy to recover from.
Right.
It's really no damage done.
No damage.
Yeah.
I tell this all the time. I'm like, just try to kiss her. Why not?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I have a story about this.
Okay, tell me.
All right. Years ago, I met this girl, and she was super cute, and I was trying to have sex with her, and she kept rejecting me, right? I would try to kiss her, and she wouldn't do it. Then she would kiss me for a little while, and then that was it. And I think I tried like 10 or 12 times in like a day, in a matter of like an hour or two.
Right.
And the whole thing is, when she rejects me, I'm not hurt by that, because to me that's a normal part of the seduction process. Mm-hmm. The man should persist, the woman should resist. A lot of times women see that as part of foreplay. I'm going to say, oh no, and that's like turning a girl on more.
Right.
You know, obviously we're gonna, stop when she says to stop, but we're gonna try again 5 minutes later.
Okay.
So I'd always try again 5 minutes later, and she would say, she said after it was all over, she said, "You know what I like about you? I rejected you so many times, but you kept trying. You didn't complain about it like a big baby." Isn't that something?
Yeah. So then eventually, did she sleep with you though?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
You said, okay. Mm-hmm. So would you advise that to men though, to keep trying them?
Yeah. What I would advise.
Like, how did that go down? Like, I think she'd be like, no,
No, she would just be like, okay, that's enough. It was a gentle thing.
It was gentle, right.
But after a while, she's like, okay, all right, enough already,
Right. That's
the way it works is women find this process of persistence and resistance arousing. So you have to participate in it. Do not say, okay, that's the first time she resisted, I'm going home.
Right.
If a woman really doesn't want you, she will take herself out of the situation. She'll either go home or she'll tell you to go home.
Right.
So if she's still there, that is your proof that she wants you to try again.
Okay.
Women want you to try again. So when she says no, stop for 5 minutes, talk about something else, and then try again. Keep trying over and over until she either has sex with you or she goes home.
Right.
That's it. And we have a name for this technique. We call this rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. Okay.
Rinse and repeat.
Keep trying, and it worked for you. All right. Mm-hmm. See, I think so many guys would be like, okay, they'd be terrified. They'd be like, or they'd be, fearful because she said no. I'm just going to stop, and that's it. But you're saying that women
want you to keep trying.
They want you to keep trying. I'm trying to think if that's true. I mean, I'm not that it's not true, but I'm trying
on
to
a
think.
subconscious level.
Right.
If she didn't want you to keep trying, she would go home.
Right. Or I wouldn't go out with you again.
Right.
I'd put you in the friend zone.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or she wouldn't meet you in a private place.
Right.
She'd say, let's go to Starbucks.
Right.
If she didn't want you to try.
That's true.
On a subconscious level, if you ask 50 women, do you want a guy to keep trying when you say you don't want him? They're all going to say no.
Exactly.
But on a subconscious level, which is where all the action is actually happening in the subconscious, on some level, they do want you to try again. Because they'd go home if they didn't want you to.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good. So what else? Okay, so sex. So undress them slowly.
Do everything
tease
slow.
them.
Tease them. Make them think it's not going to happen. Be like, I don't know if we're going to do this.
Do you really do that?
Sure, yeah.
Come on.
I do that even to girls I've been sleeping with. Yeah.
You're like, I don't know if we're going to do this tonight.
I don't know. Maybe not tonight, babe. But at the same time, I'm like rubbing their clit.
Right.
So they know.
Wow, you still do it even once you get them. You're still playing the game.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Because you got to keep it unpredictable with girls that you have an ongoing thing with.
Right.
Women get bored easily.
So easily.
Yeah. So you got to give them something different. Just like opening, you give them something they haven't seen before.
Right, and they're like, "What do you mean you don't want me tonight? Is my ass look fat?" Right?
Well, women, they respond well to a mixed message.
Right.
So I'll like...
God, that's so effed up, but okay.
Let me give you the psychology behind this.
Okay.
Women have conflicting drives and urges. They want multiple things at the same time. And actually, men are like this too. So men are no better. A woman wants a boyfriend, wants to have sex with a stranger, wants to still be a virgin, and wants to never have sex again, and wants to suck 5 dicks in a gangbang.
Right.
And she wants all those things in her head. She wants all those things at the same time.
Right.
It's just a matter of which one's coming to the surface and overpowering the others.
You mean like some of those obviously are fantasies or...
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, some of those are fantasies, yeah. And she might never take action. Like some girls will at one point in the day say, I'm not going to have sex for 4 months. And then 6 hours later, she's at a bar getting a little tipsy. And she's like, I'm going to call up my ex for some sex.
So, oh my God, all the time. You have one drink and you need to give your cell phone to your friends so they can text them. We have rules.
Don't drink and dial.
Don't drink and dial. Yeah, it's so true. I've done that. I actually went on I did not have sex for 6 months with men. It was the longest I'd ever gone. Mm-hmm. And I did it was called a manatorium, like a moratorium, but it was a manatorium and I gave up men. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. And I actually did it. Yeah. I learned a lot. That's a whole other podcast. Yeah. Okay. So women, they
want different things all at the same time in their brain. So it's a higher level of communication if you're actually able to fulfill multiple wants at the same time. So I might say to a girl, we're not having sex tonight while rubbing her clit because it sort of overloads their circuits a bit. It teases them while at the same time satisfying them.
Right.
And that's what we kind of want to do when we're seducing women. We want to overload their circuits so that they can't really think logically anymore. Because logic doesn't go along with seduction. You don't want women to think logically when you're turning them on. Because if she's thinking logically, she's going to say, sex is wrong, sex is bad. My mom told me I shouldn't have sex with people until I'm married. And my grandmother told me, don't suck a dick as long as you live. Right? So that's the logical side. So you want to communicate with women on an emotional level because it's an emotional decision. So you want to kind of, communicating emotionally is an art form. And we can't get totally into it.
Right.
But let's just say it's not about what you say. It's about what you don't say. It's about the underlying implications behind what you say.
What do you mean, though? Can you give me a little bit?
Women will read between the lines. That's how they communicate. They don't believe you when you say, I don't want to have sex with you. They're saying, oh, he's just saying that because he wants to have sex with me.
Right.
So, for example, if you're in the final stages of a seduction and a woman, you're walking into her apartment, it's very common for a woman to say, hey, we're going to my place, but don't think that means we're having sex. We're not.
I've said that, yeah.
So the way you interpret that is it actually means that she's actually thinking of having sex.
Right.
And she wants to, but she's trying to prevent herself from doing that because that would be slutty and girls don't want to be sluts, right? So to emotionally communicate with that, you might say something like, I was just about to tell you the same thing. Because
and then she feels rejected in a way.
She
felt desired by you. Like, of course he
Yeah.
wants to bone me. And then you're like, no.
She feels a little rejected, but she's also very confused at why somebody would say that. She probably never heard a guy say that before. And when a woman becomes confused, she actually becomes more suggestible and more persuadable.
How do you guys figure all this stuff out? Would you like women like up to like those EG or whatever machines or something? Like how? Okay. How? Yeah.
I mean, it's some dark psychology.
So
I
dark.
know.
This is so dark. But I want everyone to have sex. So okay.
Yeah, and I believe that, I treat women very well, and most of the women I've ever dated have said I'm the nicest guy they've ever dated because I'm really nice to them.
Right.
But I only employ these like more psychological strategies because I want to give them what they want.
Right.
And women like to self-sabotage, and women are programmed by our society to not have the sex they want. I want to give women the sex they want, and I want to teach men to give women the sex they want.
Yes, please. Women do not get the sex they want.
That's right. And I've gotten thousands of women laid by my students, and I've made thousands of women happy. And that's really what my goal is. So yeah, it's a little, some of it is this dark psychology of persuasion, but ultimately it's all with good intentions. It's all in the name of, let's have more sex, everybody.
Right.
Let's have great sex, everybody.
Right.
Okay.
So, and when you teach them, so you teach them to slow down, what do you feel like, what are the biggest mistakes that men are making, that you see men making sexually? Because they must report back to you, like, I had her in the room, the lights were dimmed, we were sitting on the couch, we made out, and then bam, next thing I know, I'm out the door. Like, what are some of the mistakes that you find that men make?
Well, a lot of men just don't believe in themselves and don't keep trying. That's the biggest mistake. They get one rejection and then they say, okay, that's it.
With the woman, okay.
Right. That's a big mistake. Another one is a lot of men don't pull the trigger. Like they have a woman, she's interested, it's time to make out with her, it's time to make a move,
right.
And they don't make a move. That's probably the number one biggest one.
Because they're afraid? Why?
Because they're afraid.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want to get rejected.
Make the move. If you're doubting that if you should make the move, if you're thinking about it too much, you should probably make it.
Yeah. When I was learning, I lost a lot of girls this way, and I reached a point where I said, I'm going to be too aggressive.
Right.
And if I lose a few girls being too aggressive, fine. Once I tried to be what I thought was too aggressive, women were so much more excited about me.
Right. It's
so
true.
much more
I mean,
turned
I
on.
gotta say, like, it's funny. I've told the story, but I try to think about my history and like the guys that I've met. So many guys in my life, dated many men, and I'm trying to think like, what was it like? Where I've met guys at bars, at supermarkets, through mutual friends, at dinner parties, at the movies, I met concerts everywhere. But what was it about that guy? Because I'm a woman who does get hit on a lot.
Sure.
What was it? And it wasn't, and I'm telling you, I don't date the best looking guys in the world. It's not like because he was so hot and whatever. In fact, I'm one of these women who think if a guy's like too hot, then he's dumb.
Sure.
I assume he's kind of an idiot, which is wrong because people could assume that I'm dumb. No, I don't. I give him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't think you're dumb, Emily.
Thank
Clearly.
you. I'm smart. So I think it's like guys who have, like, I remember this guy who's still he's the baby daddy to my dog.
Okay.
We broke up 10 years ago. We're best friends. But what he did say to me, and this sounds, you're probably going to think this is cheesy. Or no, you wouldn't. But this worked for me. I'd met him 3 times, and I didn't remember. And every time I met him, he was like, what's my... And I'm like, oh, God, there's the guy that's going to ask me what his name is because I met him at a party. We have the same mutual friends. And he was so nervous to talk to me that he's like, I'm John, what's my name? He didn't even realize he said that. And I'm like, oh, John. So good to see you again. So I was like so relieved. And then he said to me, what if you could have, and I was obviously like, then I was like interested, I don't know. He said to me, what if you could have the best night of your life tonight, and it was, but you'd forget everything, but tonight would be the most interesting night. We were like in this club or whatever. And the way he said it and the way he talked to me, I was like, I don't know. And then it intrigued me. It sounds so silly, but then like I ended up dating him for whatever 2 years. But I met him 3 times and didn't remember who he was. But he just started talking to me about something random at this club with music. And I'm more of like a talker. I want to be stimulated and I want to like think of something cool. And so for me, that was like cool. And I was like, I like that. Whatever. But
that's
I'm
stimulating
trying to
the imagination.
It's stimulating
sure.
my mind. I'm such a like mind simulator. I was like, oh wow, could that really happen? And then I was like, what's his plans? Like, are we going to go do something fun? Because I'm so spontaneous. And I'm like, wow, we're going to go do something really cool. And then, you know, he ended up being kind of boring after that. No, but he was fine. No, he's great. So, but yeah, I think about the guys who, they all say something interesting or do something interesting to get my attention. They're not doing the typical like, you know, what do you do for a living? Where do you live?
That's what you never want to do.
You never want to say, where do you live? What else don't we never want to do?
Never say, where are you from? Unless the girl asks you first. Because this is what we call in my business, we call it rapport seeking.
Rapport seeking.
Rapport seeking. Okay. That's when you try to get into rapport with a woman just to sleep with her and you say, so where are you from? Okay, what do you do? Okay, where do you live? And then you try to get her number. So girls are so bored of that. They like hate that. So the only time you can talk about those 3 topics is if the woman brings it up first. Because women just...
This is so good. Because most guys are like, where are you from? That's what they ask. Where do you live?
That's fine if you're a really hot, attractive guy. That's going to work. Right. But for a woman who's like not so sure of you, if you're just an average guy, they're going to say, this is a guy who wants to ask me 3 questions, then try to take my number and sleep with me. Right. So women are very suspicious of guys who ask those questions.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So those are the questions not to ask. And then, okay, so what are some of the key messages? So we're going to give people, okay, so all they have to do is they're going to go to your site if they want, and they're going to get the...
Instant attraction.
What's this about? Why do they want this?
It's all the conversation starters.
Oh my God. Guys are always emailing me like, what's the number one start? Like, what's the question to ask? And you know, because you've tested.
Right, we tested it. Anybody who wants to know, how do I start a conversation with a woman? This is the book that will tell you how to do it. Not only will it teach you to start a conversation, it's also going to teach you that rejection isn't that bad. It's harmless. It's going to teach you how to adopt a new set of behaviors that women will actually be turned on by. And it will keep you out of the friend zone.
That is such a big one.
Yes.
That's just, guys, I've put so many men in the friend zone, and because they just didn't do it for me.
Sure.
I get it.
Men, listen to me now. Do not go in the friend zone. It is a waste of your time. If you waste hours of your life being some girl's friend and driving her around or being her little buddy who she tells her problems to,
right,
you will never get laid. Because she will waste all your time doing all that stupid stuff.
Eventually, though, she doesn't. We want you to listen to us, though.
That's fine, but not in the friend zone. Listen as a guy she's turned on by, a guy who's in the boyfriend zone or the seducer zone.
Okay.
As a friend zone guy, if you're listening, you're wasting your time.
Okay.
Once you're in the friend zone, there's no way out.
Never? Has any guy ever in the history of the planet gotten out of the friend zone?
Nope, never, not once.
Never ever. Good to know. If you're in the friend zone, you're not getting out, move on. I have an email from a listener that I want to read to you.
Yes.
Because this is like perfect. It's called Asking a Girl Out, How Do I Approach a Woman?
Okay.
Dear Emily, any advice for guys who are afraid to ask women out, concerned that they might seem out of line, too forward? Growing up in San Francisco during the 70s was not great for a man's sense of masculine self, hearing what pigs men are. Mm-hmm. San Francisco is a whole different planet.
I get it.
I choke all the time, even when I know a woman is into me. It's like a clockwork orange treatment. Thanks, George.
Ouch. Sounds like George has got some pain around this
topic. He's got some pain. In San Francisco, I have to say that a lot of people do say, like check your balls at the Golden Gate Bridge. Seriously. And I just moved to L.A. Everyone knows this, or I'm here temporarily, but I think I'm staying. But it is true that a lot of men, they become a little softer in San Francisco, and women are... I don't know what it is. We're aggressive. We're tough. Guys do not ask you out in San Francisco. It's a tough place. Like women, it's cliquey. They say I live there for so long that I don't see this because I don't know. But people, it's cliquey. It's hard to approach. A lot of women are in groups of friends. They don't want to talk. So what does he do, George? What does George do?
This is an interesting question because he's actually talking all about like the whole feminist thing, which I think is really fascinating. I'm like very pro-women and pro-feminist. And to me, the feminist movement is ultimately about equal pay for equal work. And it's about, you know, being able to get some time off from work when you're pregnant and giving birth to children. And I think those are the big things that it's really about. Feminism has been misunderstood by a lot of people. And a lot of people think it means men and women should be equal for everything. Mm-hmm. But that's not what it was originally intended for. It was intended for voting rights, equal pay for equal work, and stuff like that. In the dating world, men and women are not equal.
Right.
We are different. It doesn't mean one is better or worse, but there are gender roles that you have to accept if you're going to be successful at dating. Women generally will not make the first move. It doesn't matter how many Gloria Steinem lectures a woman attends. She still will not suddenly grow the ability to make the first move. Women are instinctually averse to that action. And there's nothing that can change that. So as a man, you have to get more in touch with your masculinity, get more dominant, be a man, don't be a woman, don't expect women to do it for you. And you pretty much have to take the bull by the horns and you have to go for it. So what George needs is a whole mental shift to start believing that there's nothing wrong with hitting on women. In fact, as a man, it's your job to hit on women. You're supposed to be out there hitting on women. That's what women want you to do. If you don't hit on women, they can't get laid. And women want to get laid very badly. Mm-hmm. They want sex so much. Women are super horny. All they can do is stand around and look pretty and hope a guy hits on them. That's generally how women go about getting laid. So if you're not going to hit on them, even though they've done their part, they've dressed up and stood somewhere waiting, you have to do your part. Now, as far as them being out with a group of friends, that's a good point also. A lot of men are intimidated by talking to groups of women. But what you got to remember is even the women in that group want to get laid.
We all want to get laid.
They all want to get laid, right. So you can hit on a woman right in front of her friends as long as you're willing to talk to the other women along the way.
That is huge. And that, I can't tell you how big that is, that I feel like, first of all, I know that I've read some of what you guys do, but it's like don't talk directly to the hot girl, talk to the less than hot girl. Or is your thing
that's like a whole different method.
That's a whole different method.
Yeah.
I think you should talk to all of them. I think when a guy is so rudely just talking to me, even if I find him attractive, but I'm with my girlfriends and he's only talking to me, I'm turned off by him because I'm like, you're obviously just seeing my friends. They're feeling insecure, bad, because I have some girlfriends who hate going out with me because they think guys hit on me all the time, and I feel bad. I care about my girls, and I'm like, I don't want this to be a thing, and then I just ignore them. So talking to the other women is important.
It's very important.
So many guys don't feel like that because they can't believe they're talking to the girl they wanted to, that they're forgetting what else is around them.
You got it. Yeah, it's awkward if you talk to one girl and leave all the other girls out. It makes the girl you're talking to feel uncomfortable. It makes the friends feel uncomfortable. But it's actually very easy to just talk to all the girls. Like, for example, if you're doing these same openers I just said, like Horse Girl, for example, you can say that to 4 girls. You could say, hey, guys, check this out. I got to ask her something. Do you like horses? Mm-hmm. And, when I was in 6th grade, there was this girl. You guys went to 6th grade, right? There was this girl who loved horses. She loved them so much. And you just address it to the whole group. You talk to your girl that you like, but you talk to her friend and the next girl on the left, and you just address all of them. If you can do that, which is very simple to do, it'll go fine.
Because they want to be entertained. We went to the bar to meet guys. That's why we're all sitting there at the table. We're not just like, a lot of times we're catching up, but a lot of times, like, if we're single, that's why we're there, and we think it's a horrible place to meet. Especially in San Francisco, guys do not hit on you that much. But here it's been better. Los Angeles, the guys are doing it more.
Yeah, I've actually
taught
workshops.
They must be all your students.
Maybe. I have students in San Francisco, too. I've taught there many times. And we
it's
go out.
It's different, isn't it?
I didn't find it to be that much different, to be honest with you. We went out and hit on girls. We used the same openers, the same techniques, and people got laid, and it was same stuff.
Okay.
Because a woman's brain is the same no matter what location she's in.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. That's true. You need it.
Just born with a girl brain.
Oh, my God. It's so different. Okay, so talk about your pickup mansion.
Oh, okay. We were doing this thing where we basically brought in guys to live in a house for a year. And
a year?
Yeah, because here's the thing. I can't stress this enough. Learning to pick up girls and be good with women it's hard work.
It is hard work. But the bummer is that a lot of guys look at their best buddies, they're like, he never has a problem, and they resent that it's work for them.
Okay, now the thing about that is those guys make it look easy, but those guys have already put in the hard work.
Right.
Nobody just knew it right off the bat easily. Even if they put in the hard work when they were 16 and learned this stuff, they all had to put in the work to learn it. I learned from some guys who were naturals, and these guys were sleeping with all kinds of, chicks and strippers and dancers and all this. And those guys, when I'd get their story, they would say, I was bad with women, and I worked at it for 2 years. So anybody who's listening...
I wonder if I've slept with any of these guys who worked on it.
You never know.
You never know.
If you've slept with them, they're probably guys who have worked on it.
Yeah.
All guys have to work on it to some extent.
See, that's a really important message. When guys just think it's going to come to them, or I'm, just going out there asking them, I didn't meet anyone tonight. I just feel like I'm so sick and tired of people complaining that they live in the worst town to date in and they can't meet anyone and they're online dating or they're dating. It's because you have to work on yourself as well.
That's right.
And it's not just going to come to you. It's not. People get so down about it. No matter if you're just going through divorce and you're starting to date again, or you're then never dated in your life, or no matter what stage you are, it's something that you have to work on. I think that's such an important message.
Yeah, and part of it is working on yourself.
Right.
And part of it is actually talking to women and learning that skill. You can't just one day pick up a tennis racket and suddenly be awesome at tennis.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. You got to practice for a couple months, maybe a couple years, depending on how good you want to be. And it's the same with learning to meet women. You got to start at the beginning and learn it nice and slow and thorough and enjoy it. It's a very fun journey. There's, a few rejections here and there. You eventually realize it's harmless. But once you start talking to girls, and hot girls who you never thought you could get are just talking to you and flirting with you and touching you, and you're making out with girls and you're sleeping with girls that you just met on the street or in the mall or at a bar, you'll be so happy that you put in a few months of work.
Right. So there are these guys with a mansion for a year. Does it have to be a year? They live in LA and they...
Yeah, we sometimes have people in for less than a year.
Okay, and they learn, and they're training, and they're learning it, and they're doing it.
Yeah. Most guys, that's a pretty extreme thing for people who are pretty far along.
I just think I find it funny, yeah.
Most guys come in and take a weekend workshop or a one-day workshop. We can take you out for a couple days and just, I will actually go out and hit on girls in front of you. You can watch me do it. I do it all the time, and people watch it, and they watch and learn.
You haven't hit on me yet.
I haven't hit on you yet because we were having a very professional conversation. For those of you who can't see, I'm now touching Emily.
He touched me. That was really
speaking softly
Isn't
to her.
there a whole thing in this pickup thing about touch? If
Yeah.
she touches you, it means that she likes you or something. Or if you touch her, isn't there something about touch?
Yes.
What's the rules?
The rules are that you have to touch a girl or she will not be attracted to you.
How soon?
It depends if you're in a high energy environment or a low energy environment.
Oh, God, so technical.
Yeah, sure. Like in a bar or a club or a place that's loud, you have to touch a girl pretty much immediately as you start talking. If you don't do that...
Not on her breast.
No. Just on the shoulder, on the elbow, just so she can feel somebody is there and is talking to her. If you don't touch her right away, she will not listen to you because it's not enough stimulation to overcome all the loud music and the booze and her friends and all the visual stimulation. So you have to touch in those circumstances. Okay. If it's the middle of the daytime and you're at Starbucks, you don't really have to touch right away. But a minute or two in, a little touch on the shoulder.
It's a little touch, a tap, and that shows that you're interested.
Yeah.
Because I was talking, I'm very touchy-feely, so I think I sent out the wrong message because a lot of guys think I want to sleep with them, but I'm really just touchy-feely. But for men, it's kind of an important thing that they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, okay. So Brad P.
Yes, Emily.
I love this. So BradP.com is his website, and I think you're so awesome that you offer this to my listeners. I think if you're interested in any of this, if you are in any stage of dating at all, even if you're in a relationship, who knows, right? There's still stuff to learn from your messaging.
Yeah.
And he's going to give away, which is so cool, this free book, Instant Attraction, BradP.com/Emily.
That's right, BradP.com/Emily. If you go to that webpage, this is only for Emily's listeners. So most people don't really even know that this webpage exists.
Don't tell people.
Don't tell. This is only for friends of Emily.
Okay.
And you go there, we'll give you the book for free. It normally costs $39. So you'll get a $39 ebook for free. You can download it and read it right away. You'll be reading it minutes later. And I have a lot of other stuff that we can introduce you to as well. We have this 10-minute seduction thing
Okay.
that a lot of
What's
people
that?
find interesting.
Yeah,
I just thought you might be
Tell me,
into
what
it.
is it?
10-minute seduction is a method that I learned from a guy who's a natural.
Okay.
He is talented with women. And actually, I found out he had to learn it. He learned it when he was younger.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm dying to know what that means. Talented.
Man.
Okay, what do you do?
He can walk up to girls and they'll chat for 3 or 4 minutes, and then he walks away and they go into like a public restroom or any like private space, and they have a sexual escapade.
Seriously?
Yes.
Are they really good-looking guys? Are they?
He's a weird-looking guy, to be honest with you.
What the hell does he say?
That is the question everybody wanted to know. Because this guy was like,
I've never done that. Like, if this guy came up to me, I'd be banging him in the fucking Starbucks bathroom or something.
I mean, it's not like it works every
I
time,
know.
but it does a lot. Basically, what it comes down to is a lot of women do have a fantasy about meeting a stranger and having a sexual interaction
That
with a
is
stranger.
one of the top fantasies women have, is meeting a stranger.
Right. And doing it really quick and then never talking again. And it's a fantasy of men as well. So this guy who I learned from, he goes, we used to call him the pheromone kid. He was like a friend of my friends. Because I'd say, what is he doing? And they would say, he's the pheromone kid. It's just the pheromones. You know, it was kind of a joke.
Right.
But he actually has like a very specific set of things that he says. He says these certain things to a girl.
Okay.
And it makes them feel like this guy is safe to just have a quick sexual thing
Is
with.
he? Sounds sketchy. Does he have condoms on him? I hope
I mean,
so.
it's not like you have sex every
I
time.
know,
Sometimes
I know.
it's like some fingering or whatever.
Right.
But he creates sort of like a whole scenario where it becomes acceptable just to have some quick sex and nobody will find out. And it's very like non-committal. Like the woman doesn't feel like she's committing to doing anything really. So it's exciting for a woman, and at the same time, it's very safe for a woman. Because this guy, the pheromone kid, he's actually super polite with the women he talks to. Like my whole thing, I teach this horse girl thing, and I'm stunning, but you're not, and that stuff's not really polite. It's kind of cocky, and you're kind of a jerk, but it's funny, you know. But the pheromone kid, he teaches like a really polite method that's very sexual, and in a few minutes, you're just getting it on with these girls.
Wow. And you teach this as well?
This is a pretty advanced thing, and you know, it's not something you can really teach to people live. Like people have to actually absorb the pheromone kid's method and the way he teaches it. I've done it at workshops a lot, but it's so specialized that you know, some people aren't into it, and if it's a group workshop and one guy's into it and 4 guys aren't, I can't really always teach it logistically. But I have done it at workshops many times. I mean, there's reviews all over the internet. People have seen me do this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
far
think
out.
that for all the guys, all my Sex with Emily listeners, and I think women, do you ever teach women at all? Have you ever moved into
I have a little bit. I've had like girls come in who want to have threesomes with their boyfriends, or girls who are lesbians.
that's
Very rarely, you
Right.
know. It's a different
But women
game.
need this stuff too, how to talk to guys and how to play it. The women who can't, you know.
Yeah, I'm actually not really an expert in that, I don't think.
We're going to be talking to more this month, people who are experts with the
Right.
women. But I think this is fascinating. I love all the stuff that you do. bradp.com/Emily. Check it out. Get your free gift, Instant Attraction.
Yes.
And I want to thank everyone for listening to Sex with Emily. I want to thank our sponsors, Good Vibes. Go to goodvibes.com. Use coupon code GV20. And you get 20% off your order. And, like, honestly, the toys right now are rocking. They've got this amazing, the Lilo brand. You can use sex. Do you ever use vibrators during sex?
Yeah, sex toys are great.
Oh, I'm going to give you some before we leave.
Oh,
I've got
awesome.
some Good Vibes toys, and I've got some, I'll show you.
Oh, I
before we
heard
go.
about Good Vibes. I heard those are like the awesomest ones.
Awesomest ones. Good
Nice.
Vibes. Well, Good Vibes is a store, goodvibes.com, and they have
Actually,
amazing toys.
My old girlfriend had one. It was her favorite one.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you a little
Yes.
gift. And I want to thank everyone. Check out my book, Hot Sex, over 200 things you can try tonight. But just go to my website, sexwithemily.com. That's where everything's happening. Sign up for my mailing list. Follow me on Twitter, Sex with Emily, Facebook, Sex with Emily. And do you have any Twitter, Facebooky things?
Oh, yeah, I'm on all that stuff.
It's all okay.
Yep.
So bradp.com.
You just search me, you'll find me. Go to
Awesome.
Emily's site, too. I was on Emily's site today. It's an amazing website.
Aw,
You have to check it
thank
out.
you.
So
And
much more professional than mine.
Is it?
No, it's really good.
Yeah, that's just a front for whatever. Okay, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.
Hi, I'm Emily from Sex with Emily. Check out my new vibrator store at sexwithemilyovo.com to check out vibes as low as $15 from the Germany company OVO. That's OVO. These sleek, well-designed, and inexpensive vibes make great gifts for yourself and others. Go to sexwithemilyovo.com to get one tonight.